Well, this is rather interesting. So thanks to the wonderful Beth Schwartz, who is the executive producer and also the now showrunner for Arrow going into Season 7, we have got some news about Felicity and also what her story could be, and the reoccurrence of something we actually saw in Legends of Tomorrow all the way back in Season 1 that could be finally coming to fruition in Arrow Season 7. So Beth Schwartz, she spoke with TV Line, and she was talking about, and I quote, "a tease that I think you might be excited about. It is possible, or that it has to do with Smoak Tech. It is possible you might see something like that this season." And that is quite interesting to go forward. She also continues on and says that out of all the members of Team Arrow, she is coping the worst. It's been tough for her. So that is what she has had to say in regards to Felicity going into Season 7. And this does prove that obviously Felicity, she's not doing well. Her husband is in prison. She's having to raise William by herself as his now stepmom. So there's quite a lot on her plate. And obviously we knew going into this season that she's going to have her own story, and it seems like it could be the reoccurrence of Smoak Tech. So what is Smoak Technologies? Well, Smoak Technologies was in Legends of Tomorrow Season 1. There was an amazing episode in Season 1. I'd probably say it was the best episode of that season, which was called Star City 2046, and it was a episode where the Legends went to the future of Star City. We had Oliver Queen, who had just become this hermit, basically. He basically became like an Obi-Wan Kenobi type character and just stayed in the bunker. He never came out. He lost an arm, and he had just grey hair and a grey beard. They got Stephen Amell back for that episode, and it was just a really awesome episode, and it was all taken over by Deathstroke's son, Grant Wilson, which is not the one we saw in Season 6. It was Deathstroke's other son, Grant Wilson, who basically became another version of Deathstroke, and the Green Arrow was actually John's son, Diggle's son, and that he actually was Connor Hawke. And that was really insane. It was an awesome episode, especially for Arrow fans, and we got to see Oliver eventually get a prosthetic arm. But also within this, we got to see Smoak Technologies, a building in Star City with Felicity Smoak's name on it. And this led many fans to believe, oh, Felicity obviously became a very respectable and very powerful tech guru within Star City, and she now had her own building and her own company and things like that. And it seems like we might be seeing the foundations of that being built within Season 7, thanks to what we know from Beth Schwartz. So we did hear a while back that Felicity is going to be getting her own season-long storyline in Season 7, and a lot of us pretty much assumed it was going to be dealing with Helix Dynamics, but I'll come back to Helix Dynamics in a minute. But it seems like her main storyline could be setting up Smoak Tech, how she's going to be using that, how she's going to be, implementing that into her own life, and also how she could implement that into her life with Team Arrow, and how her as Overwatch could actually have more of a role than just being a person on the computer. And I think that's a really interesting role to put Felicity into, and it actually makes me a lot more excited for Felicity's role in the show if she's actually going to be having a bit more interaction and actually having a bit more of a use. I mean, Felicity is obviously a very useful character as is, but this is going to add even more, functionality to her, which is perfect for that kind of character. And I think her setting up Smoak Tech is going to be one of those things that could really be beneficial for the show going forward. What I mean by this is that Team Arrow don't necessarily have a outlet to get new weapons and an outlet to get new technology. If they have somebody on their team who has their own tech company, they can literally make anything they want. They can literally have whatever they want, no expense spared. Obviously back in Season 1, Season 2, we had Oliver Queen, and he had obviously Queen Consolidated and the Science Division and things like that, so he was able to use that to his advantage. But obviously in Season 3, we lost that. Ray Palmer bought Queen Consolidated, and we lost that kind of element from the show. I actually really miss that kind of, business side that we used to see in the earlier seasons, but we could be getting that back if it actually comes to the point where Felicity has set up Smoak Tech, and we actually get to see how she is using that and all of her resources available to her to actually make new tech for Team Arrow. I think that would be a really sick idea, and it'd be able to bring that back and bring that element of, using financial and using the money available to them to actually help improve their vigilantism. And I think that'd be a really sick way to use Smoak Technologies in the main show and use it in the action. I think it'd be a really awesome way to implement all of that. Now, going back to Helix Dynamics, Helix Dynamics is the name of the startup company that Felicity and Curtis started last season, and I'm a bit confused about that. I don't know what's going on here. Now, Beth Schwartz did say in that quote that obviously we might see it. It's possible. She's not 100% confirming we will see Smoak Tech, but I feel like she's definitely heavily hinting towards it. I feel like, obviously, that Future Legends timeline technically doesn't exist anymore, but who's to say that obviously Felicity couldn't start her own company and become a big tech guru? You know, there's nothing saying that couldn't happen. So I feel like this is still a big foundation being laid here to actually set that up. But in which case, what's happened to Helix Dynamics, and what's happened to that partnership between her and Curtis? Because Helix Dynamics was definitely something that was going on. You know, in Season 6 it was being set up, it was a startup, it was all going well, you know, and it just kind of, it was a slow burn, and it was a slow process, but we were getting there, and we all kind of assumed that her storyline in Season 7 was going to be continuing that on. But it seems like maybe that's not happening anymore. Maybe Helix Dynamics has gone down the toilet. I mean, we don't quite know what's happened to it, and I feel like maybe is Smoak Tech a evolution of Helix, or is it a completely separate thing? It's hard to actually imagine which route they're kind of going down here. And that does beg the question of what is Curtis's role next season, because if Curtis is no longer working with Felicity and is no longer in the startup process with Helix Dynamics, then what's he getting up to? Because we know he's not a vigilante anymore. He retired from that alongside pretty much everyone else. You know, Team Arrow doesn't exist at this point. So Curtis, he's not being a vigilante. He's most likely not working on Helix Dynamics, so what's he doing? I don't quite know where Curtis is going to land next season. One thing I will point out about Curtis though, because he wasn't in the trailer for Season 7 at all, but one thing I will point out is it seems like he's got a new haircut this season. Echo Kellum, who plays Curtis, he keeps posting on his Instagram photos of him with his new haircut. He seemed to have gotten rid of the afro, so that's quite interesting. I don't really know if there's a reason for that in the story, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm very confused about what Curtis is going to be doing next season. He seems to be a very weird character in terms of how they're going to place him, and it seems like I'm a little bit worried that they don't quite know what to do with him. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Personally, I don't feel like he is working with Felicity anymore. I feel like, you know, Felicity has just kind of gone off on her own, and perhaps Smoak Tech is just, you know, a separate thing, or it's an evolution, and Curtis left the process. I don't know. There's something going on with Curtis, and I just can't put my finger on what it is. But what do you guys think about all this Smoak Tech news? Make sure you let me know all your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Are you excited to see Felicity getting her own story once again in Season 7, or would you rather her just stay back into the similar kind of role she's had in Season 5 and Season 6? And do you think Smoak Tech could be a good addition to the show? Like I said, I think this would be a great addition. I think Smoak Tech coming into the show, although Season 7 it may not have it in full-fledged, I think it'd be awesome just to see the future, you know. Say if Arrow does get a Season 8, like I say, I'd love to see Felicity use Smoak Tech to actually bring in new technology and new weapons for Team Arrow. I think that'd be a really cool way to use Felicity and use her company in a productive way. It would work really well for the show, it'd work really well for the story, and I would love to see that. But make sure you let me know all your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, it'll help me out a lot, and share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV and get them to join the community. And as always guys, please subscribe for your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And with all that said guys, I hope to see you again in my next video.